That is correct. I need to get that streaming. There we go. Hello, over on YouTube. That is my bad. I've been having some technical difficulties today, but we're here. We're up and running. Everything, everywhere should be streaming all of the time. Please. I hope it is. Yes. What was I saying before? Oh, yes. I was modeling this bat to fill in some of the background, and then turned the rest of the scene back on and realized that I sculpted this thing entirely too large. It's too large, it's too high resolution, so we're going to have to do that over again. But we get to do it together on camera, so you get to see how I break models down into parts for export. So it's all useful information, I hope. Ooh, Spoopy Room got along quite a bit since I last saw it. Very nice. Awesome, I'm glad. A few additions, yeah, since the last time. We got this entirely too large bat, a few more assets to drop in, and just a couple, I keep saying this, but this time I mean it. Just a couple more things to tune up on before we get this pushed over to Blender and start making it look pretty and clean up the colors and clean up the materials and everything. So if everything looks a little murky right now, it's meant to right now because I haven't done all of the polish. I really just want everything to be in its place, sculpted, and there in the scene for now. Hiya, Jojo. How's it going? Okay, let me get this bat a little bit smaller than that. Maybe I can just, before I actually try to resculpt this whole thing from scratch, can I just turn this thing down on the X, Y, and Z to like 0.5? The derpy little eyes, I love it. And the massive wings. All right, let's try this across the model. Maybe there'll be a little bit of cleanup, but otherwise, fine. Certainly keeps me from having to spend too long on this essentially background element. I do want these guys to overlap. And this is so that when this bends, there's not a huge gap hanging out in the back or front of it that kind of makes it look like they're not connected. Yeah, he's just a little guy. He's getting littler by the second. And he just got one massive wing. There we go. Let's get this scaled down to the model itself. Nope. This one. And let's just draw out and make sure that we are... Yeah, that's better. That's way better. It's still a bit high resolution, but we'll squish them further down when we get out of voxel space. I don't think anyone's going to be holding up a ruler to every vertex and making sure everything's the right scale. That bit of Z fighting is going to need some cleaning. Maybe not terribly, actually. I am going to fix these eyes, though. So, grab our little bit of color. Is it the X mirror that I'm looking for? Am I even X mirrorable right now? I would think that I am, but okay, one, two, three. Yeah, I should be. I see. Wrong mirror. Okay, we got our little bat. Eyes. We're gonna have a little nose. And maybe we have room for fangs? Yeah, a couple cute little fangs. Easy peasy. Well, let me try to actually erase a little bit more roundness back into the sculpt of the head. And paint those eyes back into place. I don't know how you spend your weekends. That is true. I do not know how you spend your weekends. I don't remember what I was talking about to bring them. It's fine. Got a little teeth. Yeah, he's got little teethus. Maybe we can tuck the little teethus back in a little bit. No, no. They gotta be that far forward. Okay. And let's scooch you back up to shoulder height with this thing and sink it in just a little bit. What else did I miss here? Oh, his ears. Right, we got to clean that up. Okay. Just bring that one face forward so that I can paint your ears with the ear color that I have lost, but I think that it's this one. That seems a bit dark. Whatever. Might just round this a little bit better over here. I like that. And cleaning up the paint job on the wings. Oh, no, not with the mirror on. No, no, no. That's okay. I'll leave that part. And I'll just paint this all the way down with the dark color instead of leaving it open to interpretation. And make sure it's the same on this side. That should help a little bit with any Z fighting. That they are consistently the same color. You said no one was going to hold a ruler next to Is that what you're going to spend your weekend doing? Measuring my voxels to see if I kept everything to scale once I imported it? Keeping me honest. Probably not. Okay. I'm just going to hope that you don't, then. I think it only pastes one object at a time, right? No, it did it both. Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool. I don't know why I thought that. Give it a little flippity-doo-dah. Not that way. That way? Yes. Sink it in by a voxel. And I did just notice something about the paint not going all the way up to the end of the model. So I'm just going to fix that. Not this one. This one. There, that should fix it. And there's our bat. Oh, I also did this off screen, but just for a little breakdown. These are animation frames, basically, where frame 1, frame 2, frame 3, frame 4, a little page flip will happen in the book. And I also did its little book binding so that when this thing is swinging in free space, it has a hinge to hide the raw edges into. I do need to make that box flush though. There we go. All good on that front. Give it a save. And what else did I want to do before we sent it over? I see really kind of one potential area that is probably going to fight me later with these wall colors and this trim. So I'm just going to pull those walls into the trim. That doesn't really make sense. Hold on. Try to explain this better in a second. Control X. I'm going to move that out of that object. Go into the trim and push this back outward and paste it. I'm hoping that didn't happen destructively. It doesn't seem like it did. Okay, yeah, good deal. Now that that is separate, I can go back into the wall, make it scale better, and then I have the ability to slide this wallpaper until I like its position a little bit more without messing up the end cap. It is gonna kind of fight me. But maybe just a hint of difference is all it takes. Yeah, okay, now we don't see that weird break in the tessellation. But we still have this to deal with. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and fix that in the other wall as well. You know, if the wallpaper in my home scrolled around like that, that'd be pretty spooky. Yeah, that'd be a little bit creepy. This is how my house is haunted. The wallpaper moves. No knives flying out of drawers and killing people or anything like that. Just the wallpaper shifting a little to the left and right on occasion. You do have an pretty about measuring my voxels. Jojo, I know you would. I know you would. But you're right. It would incur my wrath. And push that back and paste it in and then slide it back. And we're good to go. Oh, I gotta fix that. That's fine. I'll fix it in a second. I'll just push the bounding box out and grab that color and add a face. Nope. Not like that, like that. Maybe I'll just add a little boop right there and pull that face all the way up. Is that something I can be okay with? Well, kind of, but not really. For some reason, this one goes out one further than the other. Now I'm trying to figure out why. I'll just fix it on the other side. I like that better anyway. Nope. Add a face. And now it should be even. Even Steven. Just gonna paint that face that nobody's gonna see. Make sure we're scaled and start sliding. I guess I'm happier with this one than this one for no reason whatsoever. I think that little bit of break is all I really wanted though, so maybe it's okay. Such a cool room. I mentioned I'll put it in Blender. I'd love to see it soon. I promise today's the day. I promise as soon as I quit fussing with these details, we are moving this thing into Blender. Anything else I want to do that changes the model has to be done now. So anything is left untextured. Now is the time. Speak now or forever hold your peace. I see something I don't like. Hold on. We're just gonna keep doing this infinitely. Hold on. I saw something I didn't like. Where's the wall color again? Just gonna copy that. And hopefully this slot is empty. I don't see anything in it. Okay, yeah, nothing's in it. Paste. And I'm just gonna make it a little bit darker. I'm going to paint just some kind of hole in the wall there, like that, I think. As if you're kind of seeing the interior, just a glance of it. That's kind of neat, right? And I can just dip that color down a little more. Perfect. I did, however, not mention whether I meant the software or the kitchen appliance. That is true, you know? Maybe I will eventually reach a level of frustration that will just, you know, might have to throw this in a blender. It has been that kind of day, though. Forgive me if I'm a little wiry, but I've had some technical difficulties trying to get the stream up and going. It has left me ready for violence. Okay, just, am I one voxel off? There we go. That's what, 1, 2, 3, 4 voxels of gap. Okay, 1, 2, 4. I'm going to hope that it's the same on the other side. One, 2, 3, 4, and 2 voxels. There, just a bit of detailing. Looking at the skull head on makes it clear. he's been through it. He's got that emoji with the flat teeth going on. Whoa. That's the first time I've seen the Autobot. I'm allowing it. I think it's funny. Just stare back. It full on winked. Okay. Okay. This thing. I found something that bothers me. I want just this back part to be flush. And then I can probably put a candle back there. An extra little bit of lighting if I want it. Going to go into it though and remove. It's too big. This one's too big. Where's the little one? There we go. Come here, you. Did that clanker just tell you to watch your language? Yes, it did. Yes, it did. But that's okay. We don't mind that kind of talk here. This is absolutely a fire hazard somehow. I don't think it's supposed to be this close to the wall, but whatever. It's time to start hiding details into things. Do I want that though? Now that I'm looking at it. No, I don't. I don't like it there. What about over here? I think being able to see where it connects with the surface and then having a bit of wax splatter on the ground would help with putting a bit more detail in. Paste that around. Yeah, okay. Okay. Grab that color and add a few voxels of wax splatter around. There. And this, it needs a bit of something. I'm just going to paint on it a little bit. Copy. Go over to here. Dip your color around a bit. And let's just paint the... Is it the x-axis? No, it's the y. Y-axis, a little bit of drop shadow. Just to help this look a little softer. Like it sinks in a little bit. Here we are. Kind of round off the shading a little. And I'll put a little cushion mark. Paste that in. Just bring it back up a little bit. A little bit brighter. A little bit back into our purple. And I think that's it. Just a little bit of texture. Gotta go early. Thanks for stopping by, Jojo. Hope you have a good rest of your shift. Focus in, power through it. All right. I think that's it. I'm saving it. I'm closing it. To Blender we go. Now, soft voxel shader. This is what I've been preparing. All of this mess is going to make all of that other mess look soft and fuzzy and friendly. Hopefully. Once we get it all in here. Okay. Just for a quick sample of what that's going to look like. We just got a little bit of AO along the edges and some toon shading going on. I'm realizing something though. If we're tuning up the colors, I'm gonna have to unify some of these colors for sanity's sake. I've been using too many colors. Let's try to pare some of this down so I don't have to have a shader per color when we get over there. Or we make our color choices now and let the whole thing exist on one vertex channel. So that when we get it over there, we can't change the color definitions themselves alone anymore, but we only need like one shader applied across the whole thing. This is the tough decision I'm going to have to settle up real soon. Wait, I've already seen something I forgot to do. It is always going to be something with me. One, I want this to go up here. Like there. I think. Yes. Hold up, Jen. She saw another thing she doesn't like. That's it. That's the whole stream. That's this whole channel now. We just work on this one scene forever. Because there's always going to be something I see that I'm like, oh, nope, I don't like that now. It's got to go. Okay. And then I'm going to copy and paste the top of this at the bottom of this. Not with the window frame part, just this part. There. Copy and paste that, flip on the Z, pull it down. How's that? Okay, kind of, but not really. Give me a sec. I'm gonna mess with that idea. What if I made it more flush? Yes. Yes, but a little bit different. Like that. Yep, that's what I'm leaving it at. And hey, I've seen weirder premises for a channel. I mean, I hope I got the right one. There we go. Nice. Nice and even. Anything else? Anything at all else? Right. Okay, now let's tune these colors. at least get everything that's similar enough in color should be unified. Like this and this could be the same color. So grab whatever this color is, and I'm just going to bucket replace that color with that. And then whatever this color is, these windows are going to share that because they're close enough in color. You watched a man pay for a whole child's needs by playing a video game based on a child having a mental breakdown for a couple thousand, like multiple thousands of episodes. That is, I mean, I respect the means that he's doing it for, but goodness, is the guy himself, is he okay? After doing all that for a couple of thousand episodes, I feel like that'll change a man. By the time you reach like 1,500, you're just like, I'm not the man I started this journey as. I mean, dedication though. I respect it. What else am I doing? What else am I doing? This screen color is an emissive, and whatever it is, so is this now. Make sure those are the same. What else? Who else? Where else? These are sharing. This is a unique color. It doesn't really need to be. Whatever this book white is. Not you. You. Now you get to be that color. What else? I hesitate to touch anything else, really. You probably? Are you a unique color? Not anymore. And you. Now you get to also be. No, you know what? That's too murky. Too murky. I am going to make this color and this color the same. Okay. At least we can say we did a little bit of pruning. Saving it. Off to Blender we go. For realsies. For true. Northern Lion? I'm not sure if okay is the right word, but he seems alright. Northern Lion? Northern. Probably Northern Lion? I don't know them. I'm curious to check it out, but I'm also kind of scared. Okay. Got our scene. Got our reference object. We've got to pull this stuff in here. Let's import our scene and pray. Just to give myself some more resources, let's just close a few extra things. And maybe when I import this thing, it does not crash. Oh, before I do this, I'm just stalling forever. But this was something that I wanted to bring up because I plugged in the last stream where you can download MagicaVoxel. I remember now where you can get the MagicaVoxel importer that I'm using currently. And I'm going to share that link for anyone that comes to this later. Here we go. Here we go. This is the add-on for Blender that allows me to pull in and have a lot of control over how I pull in MagicaVoxel files. So let me get that going. I've got to remember where I saved my voxel file into, because it has to, the way MagicaVoxel works, you can pull anything in as a reference or a pattern as long as you save it in this one specific directory, not near all the other files that you have. So I try to do that, and then I forget where that file is every single time. Here we are. Okay. So you have a bit of control. We're not going to join these models because we want to control where they're going to be. This should allow all of our groupings that we did in MagicaVoxel to work by making collections and tucking those objects into it there. Now, that big tough decision I was talking about earlier was whether or not I want the whole scene to be on a single material, or if I wanted every vertex color that's being used to be something that we can target. I'm going to try that first. So I'm picking vertex color. We're not importing material properties because we didn't mess with any material properties. Within MagicaVoxel, you can set things like metallic or emission or things. There, we're going to do all of the shader stuff down here, so we're not going to do that. So we're not importing material properties, and we are not importing cameras because I already have one set up in here. And we're going to hope that that one works. To satisfy your own curiosity, you went and had a look at his channel. He's done roughly 8,000 episodes. Oh, Binding of Isaac. It's sequel and DLCs. Goodness. That is a lot of dedication to that. It's a great game, but that's a lot of dedication to the one game. Respect. Okay. I think we are good to go. Cross fingers. Hold your breath. Please don't break. 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 I'm going to take a big cautionary sip. I'm hearing my computer start to scream. That's a good sign. That means it's trying. If you're screaming, you're trying. Oh. Oh, I think we got it. I think we got it. I'm afraid to move anything right now. Oh, it did not put everything in collections like it said it would. That's okay. Computer, I'm trying, Sunny. You're right, dear. You are very trying. Yes. That wraps up this whole day, this one sentence. R, Z. Nope, no, no, no. I know you have it selected. Are you going to work for me? It doesn't look like I have anything selected. Okay, it does. I'm guessing it's just an empty. I just clean that up. 90, there. And I am not going to resize the camera. I am going to resize the whole dang scene until it is where I want it to be. That's kind of, sort of there, but you're also centered weird. Why are you centered weird? How do I want to fix that? How do I want to fix that? I'm just gonna eyeball it. I'm gonna eyeball it and hope no one cares enough. Hmm. Fine, I'll just bring it down and scale it some more. How about that? Is that the right amount of dead space? Okay. Before anything else, I'm going to make room for us to make mistakes. It's starting to get a bit late, so you're going to hop off. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you have a good one, Defiant. Have a nice night, nice rest of your night. Sleep well. If you're not feeling well, I hope you're feeling better real soon. What am I doing? What am I doing? Right, I'm trying to save the file. Save the file. In Blender, make new folder. Call folder cozy spooky room. Call file cozy spooky room blend. There. Now we have some room to make mistakes. I'm going to jump into rendered view and see if that breaks it. Don't break, don't break, don't break, don't break. I hear it screaming at me. There we go. Okay. Shouldn't you be rendering Eevee? Yeah, why are you struggling? That? I don't know. I will care about that later. Now, we should have the ability to target all of these vertex colors. But, and I know this is not going to be fun to watch, I think I have to deal with this before I can deal with that. Because it didn't even keep the names of anything. So I have no idea what anything is going to be when we start targeting it. So, with your permission, I'm not asking. I'm going to start testing out what these objects are, naming them, and moving them into collections. that would be R. Batwing R. 1. Batwing R2. So put on some music. I need to put on some music too. There we go. And join us for a chill renaming things stream. Batwing L2. Batwing L1. Bat body. I think that's everything for the bat. That all into a new collection. This is going to take so long. No. It's not that bad once I have the whole list exposed. Maybe it'll be okay. Is it still parent if it's... Yeah, it is. Okay, good deal. Cloud, cloud, moon. Cloud 1. Cloud 2. Moon. Give me a new collection here. Background. Objects. I'll pull this up to here. Where'd the moon go? There you are. Floor. Wall R. Walls, floors, trim. Do y'all remember what I said that it would remember the collections on the way in because of that box we ticked? I do too. Good times. Nope, not all of that. Just these. Mouse. Coffee. Skull. Rug. Log. Great. R. Nice. Great. L. Cobweb. Jar 1. 2. And 3. Okay, I think that's everyone named. Okay, I think that's everyone named. What do we have? We need to get the fireplace stuff pulled into one area. 2, 3. Okay, accessories. Or we'll just call it bits and bobs. That'll be all of these. These guys don't need to be edited too much. Into the bits and bobs folder. Coffee. What else? And one for furniture. Collection. I'll call you furniture. And the chair. Probably the cat bed. That counts, I guess. Table. All of these candles can go into bits and bobs. Maybe I should put everything that has an emitter into something else, actually. I'm curious to see if some of this labeling could potentially be automated. It absolutely potentially could have, but that could have did not function when I needed it to, so we are doing it ourselves. We are Southern Girl, and we make do. So the way this would normally happen, so you import with our MagicaVoxel importer, and then we would tell it to import the hierarchy as collections. But that did not happen. So we make do. Make one more and we'll call it a mission. Nope, not what I meant to do. There we go. Emitters. Up, up, up. Scroll up. There we go. And all those candles in there. Fairy lights. That'll be the fire log. Laptop. And where were the windows? Those are probably also going in here. Candle. We've got a candle. We skipped one. Why did I leave that mirror? It's a portrait. Into the bits and bobs. You don't need to be edited. You and you will be particles, though. You are furniture. And skull and bone are probably more background object, because I'm going to do something with them that leads them a little bit out of the frames. And I think that's everything. Particle plants. There we are. Everything is in collections. Okay? Everything. Except for you somehow. Where did you go? I don't remember grabbing any of this. What in the world? Oh, okay. I see what happened here. It is kind of nice that it came with its own empty, though. I'll call this spellbook for now, and we will get a new collection just for it. You know, this has to go with it. What went missing from this? How? How is that working? What? Anyway, I'm not fussing with that. We're probably not even going to get to that today. We have too much else to get to. All right. Namely, what is happening here? It's given it a vertex group, which should be called color attribute. There you are. There you are. Color attribute. That's where that is. And it is going into a principled BSDF, which is then going into a material output. We're just going to call this color into our soft Vox shader and reassign the material to, whoa, I felt lag. Go ahead and control save. Okay, and make sure that our scene is using that as a material. All of these. I want all of you to use this. You're not going to listen to me. Are you really going to make me do this one object at a time? No. No. Why can't I just assign them all? Well, so be it. That is just where we're at today. Yep. No batch processing here. No siree. Settle on in while we assign every single object its shader. It's easy to forget how many objects I made until now. The wiring is crazy. It explodes my head. Oh, this. All of the shading. Yeah. It exploded my head too. I just finished piecing it back together. There's gotta be a better way. I just don't care enough right now. I'm tired of fighting every single thing today. I am choosing my battles. Only a few dozen more to go. I'm trying not to look at the scene on the left while I'm doing this. I'm just trusting that it'll be the way that I want it to be when I look back over, because I don't want to lose my place. Please be as I hoped. Head pats. Hey, Jojo. You came back just in time to see me manually do all of this. So, pull up a chair, get some music while we... Oh, I just looked at the scene and it's so worth it. Oh, that's what I wanted it to do. Oh, I love when things do what I want them to do. Thank you, Shader, for doing what I want to do. Best of lucky Billy. Thank you. Okay. Now, certain things we're probably going to have to separate into a new shader or new material later so that they can be emissive. We will deal with that battle later. For now, let's get the colors the way we want and the light the way we want, because now these things affect each other. After I save, so I don't have to do all that again. Well, that'll probably help. Turn that up. And what angle do I want this to go? Your toon shader should keep all of those shadows solid, right? Why are you blurring? Okay. Yeah, you should be good to go. Hiya, JB. That's awesome. Always wanted to make stuff like that. That's awesome. You can absolutely do that. I don't know if you see the links to the Voxel importer in chat or not, but I can repost them if you want. I've been using MagicaVoxel to build the scene, and I've just imported it over to Blender. And I will, you know what, actually, let me go ahead and expose this in a way that somebody could screenshot if they really want to. Because there is no point keeping this to myself. I am not a professional at this. This is me fumbling about and finding something that I like after some experimentation. But this is the shader that I use to make the voxels look just a little bit softer on the edges and toon shaded. So if you want to take a screenshot, take a screenshot. Save that, use it as much as you want. And that's it. You're more of a sculptor, you like making people. That's awesome. You should show me if you want to. I don't mind. I think it'll let you post links. Let me know if it works or not. And, but yeah, if you want to show off your art, I want to see it. Okay, what am I doing here? I was trying to find out why changing the sun position softened my otherwise tuned shader. So, do I really want to lose any more soul about it, though? Not at the moment. I think not at the moment. JB says, you don't post anywhere, sir? No worries. I'm not much of a sculptor. Yeah, I'll make the huge asterisk. I'll say I'm not a huge sculptor yet. I've seen people do some crazy stuff that makes me want to get into that at some point. But right now, I just want to focus on improving my ability to make materials and shaders. So you'll see a lot of that probably for the next little while. But if I get confident enough in that, maybe I'll start sculpting. Ooh, I've got someone to ban. Whirlington is trying to plug over on Twitch, and we aren't going to have that. Sorry. Ban. Let me try to remove those messages. Can I remove that? Or does it only show for me anyway? I hope it only shows for me. Jojo says, yeah, do it when I feel like it. I think I'll kill it with sculpting. Sculpting looks fun, but also is a whole other can of worms that I know I'm going to have to climb eventually, but not right now. You don't know why you never looked at Blender live streams? I don't know why I don't see it around terribly much. I see a lot of drawing, like 2D drawing streams and stuff, here and there. But I think there's a lot of interesting like stuff you could stream from Blender that you can do. And like for as much time as I spend looking up YouTube tutorials on Blender, there should be way more YouTube classes like of Blender, like live stream classes. I think that might be an absolutely untapped niche that I personally cannot fill because I am also still looking at YouTube tutorials for Blender almost every time I open it. So if someone sees this and is like, I need a niche to fill and I'm also a Blender expert, please do. There are tons for ZBrush. Yeah, but I don't want to get good at ZBrush. I don't want to pay money. So I'm not going to do that right now. Blender's hard to understand from just watching for casual people, so I can imagine people going, I don't get this. Yeah, there's a learning curve. There's deceptively a lot that does not need that much of a learning curve to get into. It's just that finding certain sections of Blender that are by default kind of hidden away make it that way. Like you can get into like grease pencil and be drawing in grease pencil pretty effectively, like within 45 minutes. Like if you watch Deduze's tutorial on grease pencil and you've never touched Blender before, you'll still be drawing pretty well in Blender without any other knowledge. But man, they do tuck some of the millions of things that you can do in Blender away behind an intimidating amount of knobs and dials. You think you know a few Blender people I'll link to later? Yeah, sure it. JB says, yeah, I tried ZBrush, but Blender is my jam. I'm with you. I tried ZBrush for all of like an hour, which is not enough to make any kind of judgment on any 3D program, but I tried it a little bit and was like, no, I'm too far in the Blender hole now. I can't with this. I have seen that there is potential in a better and also free way. So I would rather just do that. Right. I'm talking a lot. I'm trying to avoid actually dealing with the lighting, which is very me. That is very much like me. Okay. Deal with this. How do I want to? Probably this far. Head-on lighting is probably not the way to go here, but we'll have somewhere to start. Yeah, it's softening the shadows. Why are you doing that? I don't want to do it. I don't know how I want to do it. Maybe it's too high? I think the fireplace is the main caster of shadows for us to fuss with. Once I get that where I want it, that might be where I want it to be. I don't want to mess with a lot of different light setups. Please stop me if I do. You would try the world settings and add a sky texture? I mean, we could. It'll throw in a lot of extra colors to fuss with, probably. We'll go ahead and do just to see. But it is the most one-click solution to easy lighting. Where do I keep the HDRIs? Somewhere. There's a good little interior alligator. I drive a Chevrolet movie theater. Here we go. Let's try this guy. Let's just try studio for starters. Have a strength of 1. And where's the sun? Turn that off. So you are working. It's not where I want you to be. I don't know if I want to do this route. Yeah, I'm not going to do this route. I'm going to stick with the sun and a single shadow. Maybe 2 shadows. Maybe. The default one lets you move the sun around? Wait, there's a default HDRI that you can, where is it? Am I crazy? Where would I find that? It's in the color. In the color. I'm looking. Environment texture. Maybe this guy? Sky texture. This guy? Sky texture. Okay. Oh, that would explain some things. But I want to use Eevee. I set up the shader to be an Eevee. Let me think. Can it still work in Eevee? Is it just the sun disk itself, like an elevation rotation? And I can go with strength, right? Let me fiddle with it for a second. Rotation. Just throws down some amount of rotation. And altitude and see if things start happening. Does ozone strength? I don't know. I'm still not seeing much happen in the way of movement that shows me whether the light is doing anything or not. But I don't know. Oh, I have it rendered to transparent in case I wanted to draw on this in Clip Studio later. If you were wanting me to see like see that moving around. But thank you for this. That might be something I can use in another case. I think I'll fuss with this guy for a little bit. Just get back to where I was. There we go. Because I can immediately see its effect on position and stuff. Air and dust to add a different feel to the lighting. It's pretty cool. Whereabouts do I want this to fall? I guess like that. I am not a lighting person, by the way. Two things I've found that I don't enjoy very much: unwrapping and lighting. And I have to get through both of them almost every time. So you can change the air and it does. Okay, I saw that. Yes. Yeah, lighting sucks. Lighting is just so mysterious, way more than it needs to be. In like, I remember going to school and then we had to learn color theory. I feel like it's not like an incredibly long class, but you have to learn it right and then get through it and then you master it probably way after the fact. But I have not gotten to the lighting theory. I've only seen a few lighting setups that works. I drag and drop them, and either they work or I fuss with it endlessly. And right now we are on fussing with it endlessly. Do I want to like really separate like one wall from the other and just kind of cast it to the side? And then way down. Maybe I can bring it back in a little bit. Kind of like that pop of difference there. Now let's go into the shader and see if I can add some strength to our subcolors. Is this the AO or is this the tune? It's the AO. Here we go. Here we go. Yep, that's where I want it. And I want it to be maybe a bit darker. Or maybe a bit lighter. It doesn't seem like it's affecting much, does it? Have I tried the built-in tri-lighting add-on? I don't know if I want to do built-in tri-lighting. I want to have one, maybe two shadows max. because I want this to feel very toon-like in the end. And I just want to up the saturation and darkness of it so that near the end, what I have in my head is more illustrative than like high definition 3D render with backlight, rim lighting, and things like this. I am like a hair's breadth away from even like adding outline to it. I don't think I want to do that because I already have the edge, the AO edging going on. But I'm not sure yet on that. I just want to bump the saturation and value change of these things, I think. Yeah, a little bit like that. And increase their saturation, maybe. Outline's easy, but adding it to anything will take a few minutes. Yeah, I can just do the inverted hull thing, probably. I wouldn't do anything terribly special because this is not really meant to be seen from a whole lot of different angles. It's kind of designed to be seen from just this one way. So I don't really want to fuss with like fancier outlining methods. One, because I don't understand them. I've seen them and I don't understand them. And two, because I don't know if I want it to have an outline look yet, in general. Let's fuss with the colors. I am fussing with the shader. I've gotten the light in a state. The light is in a state enough for me to work on the color. Just so I can see how the shadow color, how intense the shadow color is going to be next to everything else. So I can start fussing. And what's the first thing I want to fuss with in terms of color? What do I not like? This rug. Which is more poly than it needs to be, but that's totally fine. I don't want to do it. I wanted to grab by vertex color, but I don't think I can really do that. I'm afraid of the way that I've imported it, not really allowing for this. There's a way to do this. Hold on. What is all of this? Oh, it's all the parenting lines. We do have to climb this eventually, though. So, vertex, color, vertex paint. Now, if I can just grab everything of a certain face that shares a certain something and then make it behave, that would be really cool. But I have a feeling it's going to grab everything. Yes. Okay. I really don't want to have to. Is there a character ref sheet of my model? Oh, of the PNG tuber? No, I just kind of drew her to look a little like me. Not like 100% like me. I don't have anime eyes, you know, but my haircut. How do I want to do this? something. My trait? No. No. Dang, I don't think I can. I don't think it imported with all that I need to do that. This changes things. This might mean resetting everything up in a way that would allow me to, because it's going to be hard to really mess with the color of anything if I can't grab it by color. Let me take a big think here. Hmm. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to have to re-import. I'm either going to have to edit my colors for the final in MagicaVoxel or re-import and redo everything we just did. If I want to change the colors of anything, that is. And keep the, vertexes the way they are. That is unfortunate. But that is definitely the way things are going today. So. What exactly am I trying to do? I had hoped that there would be a way that I could grab vertexes by vertex color. There is a way on import to separate anything of a separate color in a MagicaVoxel file as a separate color attribute. But right now, at the moment, everything that was imported on a single color attribute. So I cannot target specific colors and change them. So say I want to adjust the colors of the rug here in Vertex Paint. I can, but it will change everything. I can't mask out the parts of this I don't want to touch unless I want to manually redraw everything in the scene. Which is not ideal. It kind of makes me want to separate every color into its own object and then re-import it. Should be even messier over here. I don't know. I might have to do a great big think on it and then come back. I've been there. What I've done in the past was try to copy it on a high poly plane and make it a stamp. Yeah. High poly plane and make it a stamp. I don't know. I want it to maintain like the vertex, or not vertex, the voxel space that it has with everything else. I don't want to risk anything getting rotated. Like if I stamped it on. I'm not sure if I'm understanding 100% though. Let me try something. Let me try something. Not you. You. Do you have a bucket? No, you don't. You don't have a bucket in vertex paint. Of course. That would make this too easy. Nope, it's selecting everything regardless. Okay. Yep, I've resolved to do it, but I've also resolved to do this off stream for the sake of sanity. I'm going to have to take this back to scratch. This whole Blender import needs to behave the way I tell it to behave on import, or I find another way to bring it in. Let me at least test something. I'm going to save this. New, general. Like that. And we're going to see what broke. Make a copy of it, turn it to a mesh, and fix it that way. I mean, it is a mesh currently, is it not? Could render the rug as an alpha and use that render as a texture. That still wouldn't allow me to grab by color though. I mean, unless I take it to like an external, like Clip Studio or something, and use their color grabber to do it. That's fine, but also extra steps and texturing. There's a way to use the voxel object importer to separate those voxels by color and target them. And that's what I need to get working, because if I can get that working, then I should be able to non-destructively change any of those colors by describing by that color. And I think that is what I want to have happen the most. So I'm going to test out why that didn't happen, so that the next time I try this, we don't have to fuss with it. Okay, so let me find a random other voxel object that I've done here and get it working. And MagicaVoxel box. I've got to finish making this bad mistake before I can fix it. Where is some random object? BRB. Alrighty. So to import the hierarchy, type voxels as models, cube object. I'm not sure if that's what I want. This is what I wanted to have happen. Material per color. That's what it was. Oh my god. I found it. I found it, and I hate it that I found it now. But I think this was it. Material per color. For material properties, that wasn't what I needed. Simple quads, simple cubes, models, individual cube object, greedy. Organized in one mesh. I think I'll stick with that for now. Simple quads. So that this behaves better when it happens. I really wish that worked as advertised. But we'll see. Let me see my object here in render view. Ta-da! We have a cat, or a deconstructed cat, or something else for later. Anyway, it's not part of the test. Part of the test is if I can grab the material bits themselves. Yes, every color is its own material that I can then apply that shader, our shader, to, and then just change the color of it. So now we know. And knowing is half the battle. Ta-da! Now we have a really messed up cat. Sorry. But now we know what to do. Yes, that was the goal. Which I think is what I'll do off camera so that nobody has to watch me fix the grouping of everything again, because that part still does not seem to want to work on the way in. But I guess one big explosive way that we can wrap up the stream is see if that change breaks our entire scene on the way into import. Okay, material per color, import hierarchy, that'll work. And all right, let's lag this stream out. 3, 2, 1. Oh, I hear my computer screaming. Bye. Oh, hey. Thanks for hanging out, JB. I hope you have a good one. Thanks for checking out the stream. Ooh, that worked. Okay. Look at all those material. Oh yeah, I was ending it. I was kind of worried that trying to import it with all of this would crash the stream, as this I think has happened one other time, but it didn't. But that's fine. I just wanted to see if that worked before I wrapped it up and called it a day. And it worked. So I'm wrapping it up and calling it a day. But yes, thanks for hanging out. I hope you'll have an excellent rest of your day. And this time tomorrow, we will be opening this scene in Blender with all of its materials applied to the shader, organized with one light, and then we will just make it pretty from there. I swear. Okay. All right. Bye, everybody.